Hey guys, so today I want to talk about a hidden champion beside all of the other mythic uniques. So a very underrepresented and undervalued item in my opinion, and this is the Doombringer. So I want to share with you my recent findings, which make me believe that this item is actually best in slot for many current rogue builds, such as the Flurry Rogue that I'm playing right now. And I want to explain to you why this is such a powerful item. So, of course, if we take a look at this item, so we can first check all of these affixes here. We have a baseline of 100% damage, which is additive, but still pretty cool. Then we have all stats, a lot of maximum life, a lot of damage reduction. I have even double critted during masterworking this affix here. Some chance to get heal, and also 25% lucky chance to deal shadow damage and reduce the damage dealt by enemies around you by 20%. So of course, what you think immediately after looking at this item is, well, this item will boost my survivability by a lot. It has a lot of life, a lot of damage reduction, so this is everything I need in order to survive stuff. But many people, I'm pretty sure, will think about, well, if I sacrifice a weapon for this item here, I will lose a lot of damage, just because Doombringer doesn't has a lot of damage, it just has survivability basically. So if we compare it to something like this weapon here, some sword with dexterity, critical strike damage, and also damage per dark short shadows. So with my Flurry Rogue, I'm scaling my endgame damage with this offensive affix, damage per dark short shadows. So it's a bunch of additive damage that gets multiplied with each shadow, and we have 5 of them, so this alone gives me about 400 to 500% additive damage. And many people will think it's just not worth it sacrificing this bunch of damage if you have something like Tyraels Might. So most people will just play with Tyraels Might as their defensive layer, let's say, and just go into the hordes tier 7, tier 8s with Tyraels Might and let it be there. But this item here, the Doombringer, actually has some hidden affix, let's say, and I want to share it with you. So what do I mean by that? So this is the Doombringer, just like we have looked at it a few seconds ago. And now I want to reveal with you, or to you, this secret 5th affix that this item has. And the secret 5th affix is Doombringer actually gives you about 400 to 500 dexterity. Okay? So yeah, this is the secret hidden affix behind Doombringer. So why does it give you 400 to 500 dexterity? Well, very simple. If you take a look at my chest plate and on my pants, you can see instead of rubies, the red stones, which gives me maximum life, I'm wearing these green emeralds, which give me 100 dexterity per gem. So here, for example, I have additional 400 dexterity. And I could also replace the one on the helmet to have 500 dexterity. So why is it good, or how good is it? So if we compare dexterity to last season, it got buffed a little bit. So now you can see 2000 dexterity gives me about a damage bonus about 230%. So it got boosted by another 10%, let's say 10-11%, something like this. And we can also compare this to before equipping the Doombringer with, or let's say before equipping this gems here. So how much worth is 400 to 500 dexterity? So 400 to 500 dexterity is actually worth about 27 to 33% damage. Okay? So this is just 33% more DPS, total damage. And you can just see it as an offensive aspect. So this has a secret offensive aspect which just says increase your damage by 33%. So this is the case if you equip 5 green gems into your armory, into your gear. And with 4 it's 27%. So we still lose a bunch of additive damage. So if I would equip this sword here instead, then I would have about 500% more additive damage, but since we have so much additive damage anyways in the end game, so in fact we will reach something about 4000 additive damage with some decent gear in the end game. So instead of 4000 additive damage, we will land at 3500 additive damage because we lose this one weapon slot. But because of this huge damage boost from the dexterity that I just showed you, so we get up to 33% more damage, this means equipping the Doombringer instead of another weapon only gives you about minus 2%, somewhere between minus 2% or minus 6% DPS. Okay, so if you go with 4 gems instead of 5, you will have some slightly higher DPS loss. But this is the amount of damage that you lose, and it's not as much as people might think. And what do you gain instead? Instead, we are getting something like damage reduction. Okay, so actually let's use green again. So you get a lot of damage reduction, and here we even have some more damage reduction. So this is also damage reduction, and this together gives you also something between, let's say, 35 to 40% damage reduction. So we are sacrificing 2% DPS, and we are gaining 40%, or it's a little bit less, it's something like 37% damage reduction. And yeah, this is basically the trade-off. So this is the main reason why I believe that this item should be best in slot for many rogue builds, because the sacrifice, the opportunity cost that we have for this damage reduction is not too high in my opinion. And you can even equip both the Doombringer and the Tyraels Might to be very tanky. Or you can equip something like another legendary chestplate. So this has some higher or some additional flurry size, which is pretty cool. It makes me pretty near this 100% flurry size effect border. And also has second wind, which is pretty cool. Additional dark shot ranks, which again makes me some more tanky. This is also equal to about 20% damage reduction, and even greater affix on dexterity. So here I'm not losing more than 2% DPS with this chestplate here. And I can even show you that the Doombringer brings me even more life than I would have without it. So I can just unsocket everything here. So unsocket all the gems, also swap my weapon here, so now I have my regular weapon. And if I put back the gems here, so again we can just remember this number here, we have 40k life. And after I swap back all of these rubies that most people would choose for the setup, you can see now I have 39k life. So I even have slightly more life with the Doombringer and the green gems than without it. So yeah, I think this visualizes quite well yeah, how good this item is combined with this green gems. And now I can show you some gameplay. So in this gameplay, I'm not even wearing Tyraels Might. I'm just playing with this setup here. So I have a Doombringer and I have this chestplate here, which additionally gives me some more damage because here I have an offensive utility aspect on it, which Tyraels Might doesn't have. And in the gameplay you will see that I'm still pretty good at surviving, and this is Horde's tier 8 and also pretty hard wave. You will see why in a minute. And yeah, without Tyraels Might, just with the Doombringer and 4 dexterity gems, I'm pretty good at surviving. And here you see the reason for that. So we have a lot of burning ground in this wave, so I have to get rid of it first. And of course I cannot stand too long in this fire wave. Yeah, this still would kill me, of course. So Tyraels Might would give me way more effective health, let's say, versus this elemental damage. But it's still pretty manageable to survive. And you can basically only die if you just stay within this burning ground or within some explosions or something. But even the Desecrator is not a big problem anymore with the Doombringer. So yeah, you can basically play more of a glass cannon build this way and still be able to survive if you just avoid some very stupid mistakes. So yeah, I think this gave you a pretty good idea and maybe inspired you to also try out a Doombringer. So for me, this is best in slot item once I have discovered this synergies, let's say, and how well it actually performs with this dexterity gems. So I just straight put them back in. And yeah, I hope you guys learned something and find it helpful. If you do so, then you can leave me a like, subscribe to this channel. This would really support me, and also write down in the comments what you think about the Doombringer. And I hope I see you in the next video, guys. Until there, have a nice day and bye bye.